I started that one.
Oh, it's so
Anyway.
good.
Yeah. Okay. I'll keep going.
Anyway.
I figure that's a good way to start a recording. Anyway.
While we have you hostage,
No more about webtoons. Back to Millenia.
And so it begins.
Join us for Millenia. Last time on Millenia.
See previous video.
Link in the description
Yeah.
below.
last time on Millennia.
Shit's
That was really good. Can that? I love that so much.
I mean, it kind of is. Oh, that's right, because I have a theory.
What?
Kaya has a theory.
What's the theory?
Oh,
Well, we can wait till we
We'll
talk
talk about
in
it, yeah.
Okay.
theories and
Because
stuff,
we were
but
headed
Kaya.
into Precinct 9, she was headed out of Precinct 9.
Oh, yes.
Do you have the link to that?
If you text it to me, it'll show up in there.
Perfect. I will do that.
It's attached to my phone number.
Excellent.
You just have to open the messages by Spotify.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I'll get it.
I can hear your fan.
Sarah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're asking a lot of that MacBook right now.
I was going to say, I can hear the tiny fan going on your MacBook. This poor guy is trying his best.
Well, that's price.
He's going to take off.
Yeah, no, we're asking a lot of that little MacBook Pro.
It sounds like my MacBook when I'm trying to run RuneScape on it.
See, I normally game on that with Factorio and Minecraft, and it's not made for that.
Yeah, no. But we make it work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do I go to messages on here?
Yep, the one by Spotify. Yep.
And then we upload all of Levi's secrets
Oh,
to
so
the
I'm not
internet.
I mean, there's only a few.
And I buried them.
I never like used to delete text messages.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like my phone storage was taken up by text messages.
Oh no!
Photos, the videos.
Yeah.
From like 10 years ago. So I had to go through and like delete a bunch of
I had to do that
My-
the other day too, and I was like, oh, I didn't know it took up that much room.
Yeah, my big thing is my family loves to send dog photos. Like
Of your
every
dog,
day
yeah,
is
of
a
Benny.
Benny photo. We
They get-
have 3 different group chats, all with family members. You know, just
Yeah. Yeah, because you have multiple group chats
Yep.
too. Doing this sending dog photos.
yep, pretty much.
That's funny.
Yep.
The family
Yeah.
group chat in my family is just me, my mom, and my sister, and it's only active near holiday planning time.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
Don't have any family group chat.
I don't know if your
doesn't
mom
do
would
group
know how to
chats.
do that.
No, she would be overwhelmed.
Yeah, see.
She would.
She'll just call you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I will pace, and she will pace, and we'll talk about how we're both pacing while we're on the phone.
My dad won't even look at the phone right away. Like he'll hear it go off, and he's like, "Is that you guys?" We'll be like, "Yep." He's like, "Okay," because he knows it's just Benny photos. He's just like, "Okay."
Yeah, that's cute.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
Anyway,
Anyway.
we were headed into Precinct 9 because we just got back from Millennia,
yes,
and she was headed out of Precinct 9.
I think I was actually going to do a lap
Oh, never mind. She was still going to do a lap. We were headed in to try and find her because
of things.
Crazy.
Stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
'Cause,
there's a vampire on this side. We saw his hand. I'm convinced. There's at least one.
There's a lot of other stuff that
At
I
least
saw
one.
too, but
So, I think I will start with
You right?
Kaya and Niall, since the two of you were the ones sticking around in Precinct 9 while these two were making their way back in
making their way downtown.
to Precinct 9.
Walking fast because stuff happened. Do-do-do-do-do-do. All right. I wanted to do a lap toward the west side of the map just to go around and then to the south. I just want to see what's in that area and if there's anything of historical of note. Is there additional plaques engraved anywhere, symbols, anything like that?
So as you pass over here to the west side, you see that there are stairs that lead up to these rooms. They do not have doors. So you are free to go up there and check those out if you're curious.
I would like to, but not on the side where there's 2 people standing there.
Can you see this?
Yes, because there's no door.
So you want to kind of pass up over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keeping my distance.
So I want you to do a perception check to try and piece together what you're looking at as you walk in.
Nat 20.
Hey!
Starting off strong.
Nice.
Good job.
Absolutely. All right. So when you first pass through up here, in this room, on the ends of these various desks you're looking at, you see what look to be old newspaper prints.
Ooh.
And they have a mechanism, which is the black zone of each of these desks, that looks like a place that is essentially, they have a whole bunch of letters engraved, and it looks like the paper is meant to slide under these engraved letters. And when you're looking at it, you realize that it's a machine that is made to basically print edits onto the papers, so that as they get papers, you can just slide the paper in, punch out all the things you want corrected, and then you pull it back out.
So it's like
Rather
a
than-
printing press for editing.
Yes.
Oh.
And they have several of them throughout here. When you glance around the room, you see papers from multiple different days. But given how well you looked around the room, you can tell that all of these newspapers have something to do with the Red Knights in one way or another. Some of them more directly than others. They even have one of the prints on there is back from your rain reactor assignment, and things that were written down about it. And on multiple of these papers, you can see that some of them have the prints in them of edits that were made, and you can see like edited version over here, completed version over here, things like that.
Can I see the edited next to original version of our rain reactor?
Yes. So it's on this one. So when you look at the one from the day that you guys looked at everything, you can see that there were notes by the reporter that you guys met way back when, who came and approached Commissioner Hale and questioned her in the moment about the rain reactor explosion. On one side, you can the side that has yet to be edited, you can see that there were mention of evidence of a Skinner production facility somewhere beneath the rain reactor. And you would recall that you did, in fact, back during the mission, you guys pieced together that there was a good chance there was something else going on at that facility that wasn't just the creation of a biodine.
So it was a Skinner production facility
That's what was in the original edit.
that was edited out.
Yes. So essentially, when you look in there, and it initially identifies it, it says it's a cauldron, which then it, like cauldron hyphen a Skinner production facility hyphen, and then it continued. The entire bit about the cauldron was completely edited out,
Interesting.
totally removed. And I want you to do an investigation check.
Less good on that one. 10.
So while you're running your hand over it and looking over different parts of it, you happen to bump your knee against the desk, and you notice a drawer tucked under the table. Excuse me, it pops out a little bit, and you see more papers in there. Do you want to open it?
What are the guards doing right now?
The two guys behind you, it looks like they are looking over newspapers themselves and other editorials, and they are currently like sliding them in, typing things into them and editing bits and then pulling them out, checking them. It looks like they're pretty focused on their task.
I would like to investigate this drawer.
Okay. In the drawer, when you pull it out, you see what look like basically parchment note cards inside, and the note cards have you put together when you're looking at them that these are meant to be reasons for edits. And you glance back over your shoulder and notice that every time they make an edit, they have one of those cards and they write down something after making an edit, and then they put it in the drawer.
Ooh, can I find the one that's associated with our rain reactor?
Yes, do another investigation check.
12.
So you kind of quickly like rifle through them trying to find something about the cauldron, I presume.
Mm-hmm.
And you do find one that mentions cauldron redacted. And when you look at the reason, it says not enough substantial evidence to suggest a cauldron existed at the dormant rain reactor.
Sorry for blowing it up.
It's really funny how they could go check that, but all right.
I mean, it's not like
But-
the building got crushed, you know.
I find it interesting that they're like, oh, there's not enough evidence to suggest maybe back then the presence of a cauldron, but it's like, I don't know about that. I think there was plenty of evidence. Y'all just suppressed it. But those are all inside thoughts.
Looking at the pieces of parchment, I want you to make one more perception check.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Eight.
You glance around the room one more time just as you're checking everything.
How rude.
Kai looks around. What is that sound?
God?
I don't believe in you. Fuck off.
It's real! It's all real!
No, Kaya just goes, not now.
You glance
We've
around
been
the room
wanting
one
to
more
reach
time.
you about your car's extended warranty. No,
Kai's like,
sorry. I hear you
"What's
got
a
an
car?"
airship now.
Would you like insurance for your airship?
Is that a thing?
Call now for Arrowhead Insurance.
I mean,
1-800.
I could see us needing that actually.
I don't know. High Helm better pay for that.
1-800. What's insurance?
Fair.
You glance around the room one more time, but you don't notice anything more of significance.
Does Niall? I don't know.
We'll say he was perusing with you.
Oh, yay.
He looks around one more time, seeing the same things that you've seen, and you kind of like pointing things out to him. He notices that over here, there is what looks to basically be a chute of some kind, and he walks over to it and reads it off, and then he walks back over to you and lets you know that basically it is a service chute that is designed specifically for taking those old cards that have the reasons for an edit, and you dump them down that chute for reconsideration in case something was edited and then they found, oh, maybe we were wrong, and then they can change it later in a new publication.
I look at Niall. I say, and I hold up the parchment card with the rain reactor edit, and I just look at it and I look at the chute.
And he looks to you and he looks to the chute and he says, okay.
So I hand him the note card
All right, let's
to
have
throw down
Niall-
the chute.
I love charades in a podcast.
It's great.
This is where we need like a narrator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you think happened definitely did happen. Use your context clues. It's good for you.
Okay, well,
My mind went to Schoolhouse Rock and context.
Mm.
Clues.
Niall got a 21 in stealth.
Oh, nice.
So he slips the card from you, walks over, and fluffs his jacket as he tosses it into the chute. And walks back over to you. And is there anything else you want to do in this room?
No, I want to go back down the stairs and then start walking back toward the exit, but just kind of observing what the rooms are as we pass, especially the one that does not have a door with all the squigglies that look like trees on the map.
Yes. So
That looks intriguing.
over here were the barracks that you noticed before.
Right.
And as you're passing over here, you'll be able to passively perceive plenty, but I want you to do a perception check.
14.
Okay. As you're passing by, you see a sign arched over the entryway that reads greenhouse. And inside, you see several different trees, some which look to be going through the autumn season, and some that don't. You also notice a large tank of ether shimmering in the center. And when you look at the different trees, you look that's between the pieces of bark in some of them, there's like this pulsing like blue that like between the bark.
And then what was the first thing about the trees that you said? Sorry.
Some of them are in the autumn change, like the change of
okay.
the season. Some of them are not. Like they still have the green leaves of summer.
Is there anything in this room that looks like it would be an explanation of what is going on here?
You could head in and look around.
Sure.
Okay. Do you want to go around like the edge of the room, straight through the middle of the room?
I'm gonna go around the edge. And I'm not stealthing necessarily, but I'm trying very much not to draw attention to us. Like, if the guy standing there, like, happens to not notice us, that'd be cool.
Okay.
Give him a head nod.
Yeah, like, just like, nothing to see here. These are not the droids you're looking for. That kind of thing.
So as you pass by some of the trees, you see with all of them, they have a cylindrical podium next to each of them. And I want you to do an investigation check on the podium.
11.
So you don't quite understand the information that's being recorded on them. Not because it's in another language or anything like that, but it's all chemistry and apothecary information that have to do with readings about the trees, different information that it seems that they have apothecaries and herbalists studying.
But I know enough that it's specifically apothecary and chemistry stuff, probably.
Well, you know that it's the natural sciences.
Cool.
That it has whatever it has to do with these trees, they're taking readings about the trees, and that it has something to do with pharmaceuticals to some degree.
Cool. I would like to turn around and head out with Niall and head back toward the entrance in hopes of running into to see if Alentia and Durin are done, if they're in the area, because I want to show them the trees.
Okay.
And possibly the Lorax that may be there as well.
Okay. Alentia and Durin, the two of you walk into the main room here, and as you do, one of the Red Knights behind the desk leans forward and asks, "Oh," it looks at the two of you for a second, notices your umbrellas, and asks, "Oh, well, what can we do for you guys?"
Do we know this guy? He's
Uh,
been here before, right?
Do a history check, or a politics check, I mean.
12.
30-20.
Okay. So you recognize Daniels at the front desk. Not anyone you've... Excuse me, it wasn't anybody at, like, the incident you had before meeting Skazer Knight.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah. Nobody from that. Daniels is just a human, dark skin, white hair, buzz cut. Leans forward and asks, do you two need let in for something? I just need to write down why you're here.
This question tripped me up last session too. Just
Oh, you got asked this too?
Yeah, I did.
I forgot that. I thought we could just walk in.
There was a solid 5 seconds where I had to think of something.
Our comrades are here.
No. We need a reason to be here. Commissioner Hale works here, right?
And he pauses.
No, not you, DM.
Oh, yeah.
That's something we would know.
Yeah,
We've been here
yeah. Oh, no,
before.
yeah, she absolutely works
Yeah,
here.
I'm not asking him that.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. I thought you were okay.
Sorry.
No, yes. She does.
Great, thank you. Thank you, DM. Daniels. We are visiting Commissioner Hale. We need to inform her on a recent mission. You probably heard it. There was an attack on the Skytram.
You know, I did hear quite a bit about that. All right, perfect. Head on in.
Thank you very much. We head in.
You guys head on in. Are there any sort of detours you want to make as you head in through the main entrance?
Is the architecture the same as it was in Rolana? I know the map is the same, but like, is it a similar vibe to that vampire castle?
Not exactly. Do a perception check.
Not good. Oh, no, not good at all.
17.
1. Yeah.
She thinks
Nothing.
she's still in Rolana.
I'm still like trying to piece like mentally everything that happened.
So, the inside of Precinct 9 in Analir looks more like the interior of a clock that's been scrubbed clean. It's very sterile. You can see parts of it that are old, but even the parts that are old and have like rust in places have clearly been cleaned to the best of their ability. Even as you like pass into this area where they're very much like the old pistons and stuff like that, you can hear the mechanisms moving and stuff like that, and you can see in the walls like of steam and cogs clicking together, but the forge itself is derelict as far as you know.
Where is the forge?
The forge is somewhere beneath Precinct 9.
I do want to walk like towards the pistons and see if there's anything similar between them and Rolana.
With the caskets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
19.
Nice.
Okay. So as you look the pistons up and down, you can see the rust I was mentioning that people have tried to clean up and scrub away and stuff like that, or fix up since. But the more you stare at the rust, you feel like you can see shapes in it, as if the pistons themselves, the rust almost looks like figures in the pistons.
Maybe
Are
where
there-
lava's bleeding over into
Are there any figures that I recognize?
vampires.
So the figures all look emaciated.
Like
Yeah.
probably the bodies in the
In
caskets.
Yeah.
And some of the rust figures are larger than others, but none of them are like as big as a full person. Some of them, not necessarily dwarves either. It more looks like they are just smaller shapes of elvenoids and different people like that, where you can see like even when they're emaciated, you might see like the sharp ear.
A little dehydrated.
Yeah, just a little.
Little
Would-
pruny.
Yeah.
Pruny, yes.
Would that's why I was asking like is if the architecture is similar. Is not. It's like the layout. Like would I where the pools of water were, where the shamblers were, would I be able to find that room?
Oh, okay.
You know
I
what
see
I
what you're
mean?
saying.
Yes.
Yes. So when you did look around the room, for the most part, it did seem like the actual one-to-one layout.
Yeah.
When you recall it, you're like, no, I mean those pistons are almost exactly
Where the columns
where the caskets were, and then like looking around, you're like, no, those columns, like it's not a vaulted ceiling anymore, but the way that those connect with the ceiling, and it's all mechanical up there, but like it's basically the same.
So I'd be able to
Goes
find that room
Yes.
in this side.
Mhm.
Okay. Do we know where Commissioner Hale's office is? Do we remember? Is it on this map?
It is. So you guys would be able to reach her office. Commissioner Hale's office is up here.
Any idea where Galahad's office is? Okay, keep that in mind. Don't go to the right.
To the left, to the left. Everything you own in a box to the left.
I think at this point, Kaya and Niall would come upon you guys, and you would all intersect.
Is there anybody nearby?
We have people here and there.
Man down, man down.
What have you done? What have you done?
No!
Healer down!
Not the healer. We can't survive without her.
We need our healer.
Well, I might. I don't know about Durin. I'll just dodge things for days.
So yeah, any of the orange spots would be people who are either standing guard on things or chatting. But yes, you guys would intersect with one another, and
I'd see Kai and be like, come here.
Chill.
No, come here.
I'm there. I'm literally right here.
You're 10 feet away, 10 feet. All right, cool.
okay, so you've all intersected.
Kai, come here. Vampires.
Okay, that's great.
This
Not
is
here.
not the place.
Not
This is-
here.
This is not the place. There's too many ears.
I need.
I literally asked if there were people nearby. They're over there.
But still,
Hi, Durin. It's good to see you. Can I borrow a Lentia?
All right,
You
fine.
can-
Niall. Vampires.
that
Niall.
is a discussion for another time when we're not surrounded.
Good luck.
We're not surrounded. They're 30 feet away.
Try to
We
keep him
are
quiet.
surrounded in precinct.
Or
There's
less
so many
obvious, maybe.
soldiers.
They're 30 feet away.
Still, maybe I could come walking up.
So Niall approaches over to Durin and leans down to listen to him.
He's like, vampires?
He leans down to listen. He's like, vampires? Wow. And then he looks back at the two of you. What's a vampire?
Valentia
I would do
just
that. I'm like,
pantomime.
Miming. Yeah,
Yeah.
just miming.
I'm like, sharp teeth. Just
I thought you said this wasn't the time.
he asked.
I just grab Valentia and I walk. And I drag her toward the arboretum tree area.
I miss you too. Goodness.
I grab Niall and I head north.
Okay.
Niall says, I miss you too, my goodness. Mirrored together. One thing that Durin and Kaya have in common, determination.
Yeah.
And one-track mind.
That's why they butt heads so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Kaya, you lead Alentia over to the greenhouse. Once you guys get over there, do you just waltz right in and go to show her what you saw?
Yeah, is the person in there still not interested in anything else around them?
They have moved over to a different tree.
Okay. I would just, before we get all the way up there, I would drop her hand. So I'm not dragging her into the arboretum area. And I would just start walking toward where we were before. Assuming she'll follow.
Mm-hmm.
So Kaya, you lead her over there underneath the trees. You feel the steam and humidity hit the moment you kind of walk through the gateway. And you come over to examine the same sheet of information that was recorded that she examined. And I want you, Alentia, to do a... let's do medicine check and then alchemy check.
For character reasons, Kaya went over, brought you over, and then looked down to the thing and looked at you and like pointed at it and went, I don't know what this means, but I think maybe you do.
Alentia would walk in, like, looking at all the trees and the branches, and then you would say that and, like, zero in on it. Be like, oh, okay.
Say, how distracted are you by the plants?
Yeah.
Very.
All right, so medicine.
And then we'll go one at a time. So
Yeah,
medicine.
dirty 20.
Ooh.
Okay.
And then alchemy, 19.
Oh my gosh, I knew she was
Okay.
the right person for this job.
So when you look over this sheet with all the recorded information, you see basically a list of different chemicals and compounds that they have managed to extract from the trees
Okay.
in the form of a sap. The exact purpose of it isn't recorded here, but you can put together like, oh, okay, so they combine this with that, and then, but it's all contained in sap, and you do see a note at the bottom that mentions when all this information is put together and where the samples are collected.
Okay.
And you see information that states they're kept in basically what would be the word? An amber capsule for everything.
Okay.
Again, looking over all of them, you can guess what the sap might be used for, given what is being extracted and what different medicines what different chemicals are being derived. But just like with lots of chemicals, you're like, I mean, the same chemical that's used to help this thing with the body could also technically be used to make this compound.
With the chemicals that are currently added together, would I be able to determine if it's more medicinal purpose or more nefarious purpose?
You would be able to put together that it is certainly more for medicinal purposes than it is for nefarious purposes. Whatever they are putting together, it seems like this sap, whatever it is that they're creating or extracting, is used as some kind of you're not 100% certain like where this falls into, but you get the sense that it's some kind of calming agent.
Okay.
Would the other...
Oh, go ahead.
I'll say, actually, I'll take it even a step further. Something akin to a sedative.
Okay. Perception check to see if, like, there's a section of one of the trees where the sap is coming out of that I can take, like, a sample from sneakily.
Sure, go for it.
Or do you want me to take it from sneakily once you find where it needs to come from?
I like that idea.
I have excellent handling. I just don't know what to take.
10?
So you look around and you see that there is some sap in one of the pieces of bark, but it's kind of spread out so that it's just more like you could put like your thumb on it and get something off, but you wouldn't really be able to
kind of
like
check
take a
was
full
it?
sample.
That was perception.
Can I try?
Sure.
Wait a minute. Hey, dirty 20.
Hey.
Nice.
All right. So initially you notice the one that's kind of spread out over the bark. But Kaya, you kind of pick up on what she's looking for, and you look around too, and you see further back on one of these trees, you see what looks like a long, steady drip that has gone down the side of the tree back here that you might be able to swipe while this knight is researching this tree.
Jamie,
Valentia.
I don't know what to take. Immediately knows what to take.
Well, now that she kind of looked. Valentia, do you have like a vial or something to collect it?
I
Yeah, I
understand.
would, and
Okay.
I would take one out and like hand it to her.
Can
Okay.
you make sure that the other person does not see me do this? Like, distract them, ask questions, something.
Yes. I would go back up and around and pretend like I'm coming in again.
And try to what again?
Like pretend like I'm coming in again and like
okay.
go
But
in like
she's just
his-
now coming in.
Yes. And go in like their general direction.
Okay. While you do a handling check, I want you to do a performance check.
And you know, performance is my strong suit.
Can I use an inspiration point?
I'm okay with that.
I'll ask Levi when he comes back.
Okay.
I rolled a 1. I trip into the tree.
Just headbutt the bark.
I'm covered in the sap.
Sap.
I
Oh,
mean, that's
no.
one way to
Well,
get a
you can
sample.
get a sample.
Just hope it's not transdermal and you know, like get knocked out on us.
yeah, it just absorbs through the skin, and well, there you go.
Well, we know what it does. Yeah.
Right.
And
That's a
we have a
powerful
test.
sedative.
There's a test subject here too.
Oh gosh.
The other guy, this wasn't ready for human testing.
What did you get?
I got a 15 actually.
Ooh.
Okay. All right.
Better than in the past.
Okay, absolutely.
Darren.
So I'll say that Alentia, as you're walking in and going all ooh and ah as you walk in, that this guy looks up from his the heck why am I blanking? From his
Podium. Notes.
What's that called? The little cardboard thing you put papers in, clips. Clipboard. Literally hugest brain fart. Anyway.
I love how my brain went to Rolodex.
Oh.
That's not what you were talking about at all.
He looks up from his clipboard when you walk in as he's recording information and kind of sees you looking over everything and just kind of like and keeps writing down information, but he doesn't seem at all distracted by like he seems to be focused more on you and the tree. He's not even thinking about what's behind him.
Okay.
So
I'm kind of curious what happens with a fail on this roll, actually.
it's up to you.
Because if it ends up being me falling into the tree and then being covered in sap, I can still get a sample that way.
I'll leave that to your call.
No. Well, we'll see. I still have to
Think
ask.
about it. But I am just going to like slowly look around. I'm looking back and forth at the different trees, and I would like go up to him and be like, I never knew this was in here. What is it for?
He would give you sort of a side eye when you ask and say you've never seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
For a moment, he would be like, "Well, it's been here for a while now."
I mainly do a lot of field agency. I'm never really in Precinct 9.
Oh well, I suppose that. I guess that kind of makes sense.
I guess we kind of have field agents or something, whatever they do.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's beside the point. Research here, it's mostly for putting together stuff to help our field agents.
Oh, what will it help with?
Different personal issues that agents run into in the field, for very particular purposes at different points in the month.
Points in
And
the month?
he would look you up and down for a second and say, I'm going to leave it at that.
I swear to God, are there vampires and werewolves in
No.
this precinct?
I don't think that's what he's getting at.
Did you want to ask about using an inspiration point?
So I'm trying to collect the sap that's dripping out of the tree, and I rolled a 1. Can I use an inspiration point to re-roll?
It'd be funny if we don't.
I know that actually was the exact same thought I had. I honestly am curious though what a fail would look like.
Especially after that response.
You know what? Let's go with it. I'm just
Nope.
gonna.
Nat 1.
Yeah, I'm keeping the nat 1.
Yep.
Let's see what happens. I'm curious.
All right, Kaya, so as you're walking over there, there are some roots that have begun to spread through the greenery.
Uh-huh.
And as you're trotting over there, very pleased with yourself at noticing this sap dripping down from the tree.
I'm very pleased.
You are trotting over there, and you just fully nail one of your big toes on a root, and you stumble forward, holding your foot until eventually you lose balance and headbutt the tree. I want you to roll a 1d4.
See, critical fails are just as fun as critical success.
I know, right?
How concussed are you?
2.
2 bludgeoning damage before you roll onto the ground, holding your forehead after it smacked off the bark.
Nice.
Do we hear it?
Do they
So-
notice? Do I roll for like not yelling in pain?
Please.
Go ahead.
What would that be?
You have to beat whatever his perception check just was.
What was it?
A 19.
Oh no!
Do it, roll.
I'm going to see if I notice too.
I'll have you do an endurance check to see if you hold it in.
Come on.
I think she's going to need to get like a nat 20.
I got a 12, which is better than I thought I'd get. But
Okay, what did you get on perception?
I got a 14.
can I do? So I would like to do this. Can you tell me what level of like volume of sound my thing is at, but I get to make the noise?
Please.
Okay. It would be kind of like when you thwack, it'd be like a, ow.
Okay. So I'll let you go.
Do I hear it?
You hear it, and it looks like the other guy hears it at about the same time.
I would slowly like lean back and like look around the tree and just like very slowly like see Kyle. I was like,
Just rubbing your head.
yeah.
And he would turn around, see you laying there in the grass, and from all the way over there, and just likely put 2 and 2 together that you tripped and smacked your head. And you would see him like staring at you for a moment, and just
Hi.
There's literally a sign on the wall that says like "Watch your step."
There's a ye old caution sign
Yeah.
next to those roots. What?
he literally just with his quill just motions to a watch your step
Yeah.
sign.
And I would just look at him and say,
But like he doesn't seem bothered or anything. I'd be
No.
like, my job is never done. They're always getting hurt. Can't leave them for 2 seconds.
I would just
And walk
he went
over.
like that.
Yeah.
I would just look at him and just be like, "Thank you, very helpful."
And the guy would just turn back around and continue doing what he was doing and just mutter to himself, fucking recruits.
If anything, I am very hopeful that should we meet in the future, he will never recognize me, because how could a stealthy assassin possibly be that klutzy?
The world may never know.
The world may never know. So I feel like I would start to get up off the ground, and then I would just hand Alentia the vial back, and I would say, "You try."
I would take it.
Okay,
And you're doing-
Handling?
And you're doing this subtly, right?
that's why I want you to make a handling check, Alentia.
Okay.
Yes.
Ooh.
Ooh, we might drop the vial.
Yeah, 2.
Oh, you
Or 4.
4.
4.
Good
So much
thing we
better.
split up again. You guys are gonna get arrested.
Okay. Actually, you first, and I have a question. Sorry.
Okay, Alentia, you pull out the vial, and as you pull it out, you pull it out a little too enthusiastically and like juggle it in your hand for a second before it on the ground, on the roots.
Does he notice?
I have a thing to say if he does.
He kind of, as he's recording information, he like kind of turns his head a little bit and just like, and he keeps on writing.
Did I, when I smacked my head on the tree, is any of the sap on my head?
That's hilarious.
So while you're rubbing your head, You like pull your fingers back and you feel like of a sticky substance on your forehead. And sure enough, there is some level of sap between your fingers and your forehead.
I would just do that. I'd look at you. I'm gonna say, "Is this enough?"
Is it like a decent amount?
Is it starting to like drip down into my eye? So now I'm really starting to notice.
Mixing with the sweat.
Possibly a little blood. Not contaminated at all.
No. It's a perfectly good sample.
Yeah.
It would probably be enough to get at least some idea of maybe what the sedative is for, but you're not going to get a whole lot of information out of a sample that small.
Am I allowed to try this again?
At your own peril, always. You can do a handling check.
Okay.
Please. Switching up the dice.
Yes.
Guidance.
What did you get?
Got 2. Can I use an inspiration point now? We've come too far.
You get
Yeah.
one more shot. At
One
this.
more.
If you blow this inspiration point, you're using your third dice to. How many sets of dice do you have? 4?
5.
5. I love that.
Because dice jail.
Yeah.
Okay, we can work with that. Handling, right?
Mm-hmm.
18.
Oh, thank God.
Much better.
Much better.
So you turn to Alentia and hold out your hand and just go, one more time.
One more time.
I would take it and firmly place it in her hand.
And I would firmly hold it in mine. And as I approached the tree, I would look down first, check the terrain, and very carefully approach the tree.
You would do as you say.
Is there any blood left on the tree from me?
We can worry about that in a second. First,
Okay.
you're getting your sample.
Okay.
So you step over to the tree and you find that long drip you initially eyed, and you hold the vial under it, using the cork to kind of slide the sap in there until you get a decent congeal of sap in the bottom of the vial, and you cork it to hand back off to Alentia.
Firmly.
Take it and put it into my medicine bag.
Firmly.
Firmly.
Securely. It's not
Securely.
Yes. It's not gonna break on me.
There's not a hole in the bottom.
Hope not.
And then, is there blood on the tree?
Okay, I want you to do a perception check.
Are you
You make there's no evidence.
coming to the tree?
23.
Oh, she got better than me.
Okay.
I like 13.
You notice just a speckle of blood on one piece of bark, enough that you could probably just break off that tiny piece of bark and be good.
Can I do a biowave check first to see how the blood is interacting with the tree?
Ooh.
See, this is why she's
Sure.
the medicine
Yes.
person.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
This has a 9 on it.
16.
So when you use a biowave check, trying to sort of read the reaction between the blood and the tree itself, or like the sap,
The
or
sap.
both. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't notice any particular reaction. If anything, given what you've learned so far, the fact that it doesn't really have any sort of reaction to her mortal blood is odd. You expected to at least see some kind of reaction between the two, but if anything, you're getting the sense that the blood and sap almost repel each other, like oil and water.
Interesting.
Because she's human?
That's why I'm wondering.
Put your blood on her.
That's what I was about to do. I am going to take
Oh, no.
my dagger and just prick my finger with it, and then put it right on the sap, and then another biowave check, or
Yeah, go for
Okay.
it. But I'll give you true advantage.
25.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Hold, please.
25. That's impressive. Why can't you do that, Jamie?
Hey now. This is not a toxic environment.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
I'm offended.
I'm not saying a 1 and a 2 in a row.
Listen,
Thank you.
yeah, it was, and that's when you should have made the joke, not during the medicine check and the biowave check that I can't do.
So, when you sense for a reaction between your blood, which has the blood of elves is a distinctly like gilded yellow, very much more gold than the typical red mortal blood. And when you attempt to find a reaction between the sap and your blood, you notice that there is between the two, you notice an almost like helix twist between the two. Like you feel that sort of like the way that maelstrom comes out when you're trying to examine something. You see that sort of pour out around your hand, and you see the natural curve of that represents, we'll say, your life essence in the form of blood, weaving around this sap like a helix. But then the two pull on each other in the storm, and as the two pull on each other, eventually they sort of relax, but you don't get the sense that it has the desired effect. Like, as you're examining it, you get this feeling that you're much closer to what this is supposedly for, but there's still something not quite right about your blood and the sap.
Okay.
I also want you to do a nature check.
So maybe it is what you said earlier.
Werewolves?
Exactly.
And
You said 8?
Mm-hmm.
You, looking around at the trees, get the sense that with the aether likely being pumped into them, it is some sort of attempt to create some sort of... It's an attempt to make the trees artificial in some capacity. It's trying to force something to happen inside the trees, but you can't quite recall in nature what that is.
Okay.
Or a similarity in nature.
Photosynthesis.
What is that middle part there?
A large tank of ether. Think like one of those
Okay.
large standing propane
And
tanks.
that's what's being pumped into the trees. Okay.
It essentially looks like raw ether just being pumped into them. Slowly, but a lot.
Okay. Anything else in this room?
No, I think I hit the end of my luck rope a while ago in this
Okay.
room, so I'm cool with leaving. Does the guy say anything or notice
When
us
you
leaving
leave?
at all?
Thank God.
Literally.
I'll roll one more thing for him. He just seems totally absorbed in recording his information.
Quick thing on the way out. Is there anything perception-wise that I notice of him that's might be different or off?
Go for it.
Oh.
Is he 9 feet tall and really skinny?
Have a proclivity for drinking blood.
27.
Ooh.
Dang! That's
All
so
right.
good.
So you would notice the only thing that really sticks out about him is that even though he's a human, you would notice that he is distinctly hairless.
Like bald and everything.
Like, there is no trace of facial hair. You don't see any hair
No
on his
eyebrows.
head. No eyebrows.
Is he avoiding the light?
In here, it looks like the light is already coming through. We'll do a perception check.
Dirty 20.
Ooh.
So
How
the
do I get my
sunlight-
dice to like
Yeah,
you
seriously.
as much as like me?
The sunlight coming into the greenhouse, while there's a very large window to let lots of sunlight in, it looks like they have the light coming through the stained glass, and whatever light is coming through, it looks like it's hampered.
DM, question about vampire mythology in this world. Is it
Yes.
common knowledge? Like vampires and werewolves, like
People know they exist.
are there? But do we know like the rules? Like in this world, like sunlight, garlic, crosses. Is that like common knowledge in Onlear?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You could, when I cut back over to you, which if that's the last thing you were gonna check, I will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can do a general nature check on what you can recall about vampires. So if you want to do that, go for it.
$13.
So you recall fairly typical things, such as most often vampires. The biggest things I will say that are unique but more common in this world is that there are 3 evolutionary stages to a vampire. One is the fiend, where once a vampire is a fiend. What? Oh, once a vampire.
Over there with the mic.
I definitely didn't pull it out of its slot for half a second. Vampires begin their life cycle as a fiend when they are first bitten. During this time, they have an urge to drink blood. If they succumb to this urge, they will finish their transformation into fiends, but only on one condition. After a fiend feeds, they must die. Blood then consumed as a fiend will revive them as a true fiend, which is just, it's still a fiend, but they are a complete fiend now.
So Vampire Diary rules.
Yes. Then from there, becoming an actual vampire is a whole other thing. And the belief is that one cannot become the 3rd stage of a vampire. You must be born that stage, which is an Alucari.
How you spell that?
Alucari.
Alucari.
And the Alucari are essentially an ancient race of immortals.
So like vampire lords from the other media.
Yeah, you can think that they are the originals that were brought during the convergence.
And then how does a fiend become a regular vampire?
You don't recall.
Okay, but like other things like how to kill a vampire? Is that like
So-
sunlight, stake of the heart? Is that
Yeah, so direct sunlight will incinerate a fiend. Direct sunlight only weakens a true vampire.
That's
Do I need to read the quote? It's just the picture. The picture's really cute.
what is it?
It's funny and cute.
Sorry, going in here, there's a very cute cat on Reddit on Our Cats. And big eyes, gray, and it's very surprised looking at the camera, but adorable. And the caption is, "Can you share pictures of your cat where it's pretty obvious not a single brain cell is working?" I have those too.
That's funny.
Its eyes are huge, just like the one.
That dog.
I was going to talk about the owl on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Oh
It's
my
like,
gosh.
you're very calm under pressure. And it's like this owl with giant eyes.
I've seen that one. Wait, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Because that's me.
That's funny.
Just, it's like, you're so calm under pressure. I'm like, yeah, just don't look too close.
Yeah.
So sunlight.
Sunlight.
There are 2 other ways to kill a vampire. You just can't recall what they are.
Is there like a quote unquote cure for like the beginning stages of a fiend, like before they die?
You said in Rolana, just don't drink blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
once
is there
you-
something else other than that?
Do a nature check.
I thought you didn't want to talk about vampires.
I tried. Well, it doesn't matter. Natural 20.
All right.
Amazing.
It's by your foot, Jamie. Thank you. Thanks.
So, you would recall that there is considered there's something called Black Moon that is considered a sort of panacea for vampirism that is supposedly if you can find Black Moon in a absolutely pure form, it can rid you of vampirism, supposedly even a true vampire.
Ooh.
Would Alentia have ever come across or know the location of this plant?
If you could remember. Oh.
Yeah.
I
Gotta get
would
those
say
memories back.
probably not, given it wouldn't have really been any sort of concern in Kahar.
In
You were
the
surrounded by
desert?
sunlight in
Yeah.
the desert. There's no concern for
Not a lot of
vampires out
vampires in
there.
the desert.
The only vampires you would have come across would have been like an Alucari, and it would be a very different war if you came across one of
Yeah.
those.
You would not be here.
Maybe not. But that's neither here nor there. Yes,
Okay.
if you can find pure Black Moon in whatever form its purest substance is, then you can also cure vampirism.
Okay.
And then the yellow blood from Rolana, is that distinctly vampires? I know you described her blood as being yellow for an elf.
Yes, so elves and lots of other immortal creatures. I put large air quotes
Have
around
gold.
immortal. Yeah, that basically elves being able to live around 900 years old. For all conventional purposes, they're immortal.
The-
They're
The perfect being from Full Metal Alchemist.
a little
Spoilers.
bit. But
What?
so golden blood, like actually golden blood, like in elves, is indicative of natural immortality. The dirty yellow, that sort of false gold yellow that you saw before in Rolana, is evident of unnatural immortality, where it was either given to someone, they came upon it because of a curse, something like that. It's basically immortality that was in some way, shape, or form thrust upon them, but it didn't happen when they were born.
Okay.
The dolls didn't have gold blood, right? They had white blood.
They had black blood. Well,
I
at
thought
least,
only Nile
sorry,
had
Nile
black
had black
blood. Yeah.
blood. The
regular dolls.
dolls had white blood.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause- yeah.
Just checking.
Yes.
Alright, cool. So while they're looking at plants, like losers.
Excuse you, I was running into plants. I was getting to know that plant very
have
well.
saved your life so many times by now.
I know that tree better than most trees, okay?
I knew that would be triggering. So while they're looking at plants, Niall and I are going around that. Can we go to the next pillar to the left? Get away from that guy to the right? Yeah. There's nobody in earshot?
Not that you notice.
I look up, looking for vampires.
You look up, you just see the
Okay, cool.
of mechanical things.
Just PTSD. He's like, where?
Yeah. He's expecting to look up and see shamblers.
Yeah. And I'm not as brave as Dune. I don't.
Oh.
I look around the corner into the room where I know the water is,
Uh-huh.
and I look at Niall like, do you know what's in there?
Niall waits for a second. He's like, I mean, I'm fairly sure Kaya saw what was in there, but she didn't get a chance to tell me.
Is there any? There's just that one guy. I want to just be like, now distract that guy. Just like he did last time.
Is it the same guy?
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious. But I don't know. I'll do that. All right. Do we know, like, is the hair loss thing indicative of a vampire? Or is that poor guy just bald? Like, is there telltale signs like that?
Based off of the nature check you guys had, I would say you're not sure.
Okay.
But that's what research is for.
Yeah. It's like there. I look at Niall. It's like there is a monster here. We
And-
gotta find it. I know, right? I look around too.
It's like, but where?
That's a great. I think in that room.
Then maybe we should talk to Kaya. She saw what was
That makes
over
too
in
much
that room.
sense. Let's know. All right, fine. Let's go back to the main entrance. And
It's about to be
and wait
like-
for them.
Part of me wants
I
to sneak
really
up
wanted
on
to.
them.
I know.
Kaya's literally over here like, I
I
wrote it
really-
down for you.
I really wanted to just be like distract that guy and like try to sneak in. And but no, we'll go back down south.
Okay.
Way down south. It's a southern song. Don't worry, it's fine.
Valentia, you said you wanted to sneak up on them.
A little bit, yeah.
What? We're coming back down.
We're sneaking up on them?
She's trying
Okay,
to be mean.
I want both of you to roll stealth.
Oh.
I'm gonna roll perception then.
It's against your wisdom score, actually. They
Mine?
have to roll above your wisdom score.
Oh well.
Kaya likes this game.
15.
Oh, you in trouble.
What's Niles?
Well, his
10.
is certainly harder, actually.
Oh what?
His is 14.
He has high wisdom.
Stealth,
monks
right?
Can it be against my intelligence?
Oh, if only.
Does it matter?
It would.
Mm,
Why? What'd you get?
25.
Nice.
Just turn around the corner and be like, ah!
I'll say
No, you turn the corner and you're like, where's Kaya?
Niall will be just like, Durin like rolls backward. Like,
I
clank,
would.
clank, clank as he rolls backward.
It's more like flopping because he's so boxy.
I would be laughing and then I look at you and I'm like, that was a great idea.
It's not my fault. Durin's building a Minecraft here.
What are you guys up to? This would be so much better if you just acted normal.
Niall also looks
Just
to
breathe.
everybody.
Hurtful.
I'm trying not to raise suspicion and you're actively going against that. I need you to breathe.
I just start walking to the exit.
Niall,
I look at Niall and I'm like, what's going on?
we'll get to that. Did we want to speak with Chief Galahad?
No!
Okay.
How far away were you when you said that? I thought you were
Across
walking
the room.
away. Did you hear it?
Yeah, you're right.
You exited this
Yeah, you're right.
conversation.
I mean,
Well, did say we were coming. Well, I don't. What
we do need to talk to all of the figureheads, and he's one of them. And we're here.
You don't want to talk to him last?
What did you guys give as your reason for coming when you walked in?
Talking to Commissioner Hale.
Wouldn't it be weird if we didn't do that?
I would just say we met up with our compatriots and had to leave. Or we can talk to her. I don't care. Niles
This is
here.
you guys. Not Niall just sort of shrugs. I'm just asking. I don't.
It's up to you, Kai. If we want to talk to her. I don't think we should talk to Galahad right now. I think he should be the last one we talk to. Because he tried to kill us. Let's go talk to Commissioner Hale. Executive decision. Go back north.
Okay.
Alrighty.
I was still thinking.
It'd
So.
be funny.
Mm-hmm. Durin just makes a sharp U-turn and walks
That
back.
would be decisive.
Okay. So you guys eventually pass up through here.
Alright, look into the dark shadows of the room.
Mm-hmm. Where we
Where
first
the vampire
saw
used to
the
be.
yeah.
Okay.
Those beady eyes.
Beady eyes.
It's the middle of the day, so as you guys look around, you don't see anything.
Trump.
Yeah, literally.
How rude. You guys got to feed the cats or something?
I need to do neck stretches, but. Ow, I really do actually.
Ooh.
Ow.
Is that your neck just now?
That was my neck.
No, mine
Her
didn't
neck
make it.
hurts.
Oh, sorry, I know her neck hurts.
I heard
My
the
friend,
cracking
yeah.
from your neck. I thought it was her.
No, it wasn't
It's
me.
like, ooh.
Sorry, bad timing.
This is what happens when you get old. You have to do things like neck
Yeah,
stretches.
get old and get into a car accident.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Actually, this is from when I fell off a swing when I was 5. Thanks for asking.
Oh yeah, so the car accident had nothing to do with
No, not at all.
it.
You can keep going.
Okay. So as you guys pass up through there, you would recall that to get to Commissioner Hale's office, you did have to go through this door over here, which is currently being guarded. So as you approach the Red Knight standing outside, what would you like to do?
Do I know his name?
Do a politics check.
17.
His name is Ramsey.
Ramsey. Is that spelled how I think it is?
Ramsi.
So no. Is he directly guarding like her office?
Her office is beyond this point, so he's more just standing guard of this sector. Also, just so you know, if you're curious, Ramsey is a Viling, which are the horned, colorful individuals. His skin is a deep black. And
sorry.
where his horn should be, on the right side of his head, there is a deep scar that runs across his head and looks like it completely rips through his brain. So the horn, where the horn was, is completely split open, and you can see all the way down to his gray matter that is calcified with this deep blue ethereal color.
Does he have any hair?
No.
Can other species be vampires?
Yes, as long as the species is mortal.
So an elf can't be a vampire?
I should say as long as they are do a nature check. I have to be a little bit more specific than mortal.
17.
So they have to be a Mirren to be converted into a vampire, which is short for an Overmirren. So basically they have to be an original denizen of Overmere in order to be transformed into a vampire. So to say immortal would not be totally correct. Because yes, elves can be turned into vampires.
Alright. I'd walk up to Ramsey and be like, "Good afternoon, Ramsey. We were hoping to be able to speak to Commissioner Hale. She's not expecting us or anything. We just wanted to inform her on recent events."
Yeah, all right. Follow me. And he opens up the door and walks inside. I also want you, as a group, however you desire, to do another nature check.
Please.
I got a 17.
What is with my dice today? 16. Hey, dirty 20
I got
then.
a 10.
Nice. I rolled
It like bounced off my iPad here. What?
Whee! I want to
That's why-
fly.
You can use my dice for it.
Okay.
The scar that that Ramsey bears proves to you that he is a reborn, just like a Molly.
Okay.
Someone who received a lethal wound but was brought back for whatever reason.
You have to keep his skin?
Yes, not all reborn come back as skeletons.
Okay.
Some just have to live with whatever wound killed them. But Ramsey leads you on through.
Any suspicious activity in the hallway as we walk through here?
Do a perception check.
14. Sorry. See, you were doing that.
7.
Oh, sorry.
Perception.
18.
Hey.
Good.
No, you're good. I missed what the roll was for, but I heard everyone rolling, so I was rolling anyway, and I was like, can I figure out what it's for? Is it important? It's probably not stealth. Oh, I do get a +2 there. Okay.
Maybe this is why we don't scroll social media in the middle of D&D.
Sorry. Ow.
So
Jamie got called out by the teacher.
I know. While we're being recorded.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great for the podcast.
So as you guys pass through, you just notice several bookcases. You don't see anyone else in this sector. But other than that, nothing really stands out.
Okay.
So he leads you over to Commissioner Hale's office door, and he steps off to the side and says, "I'll be waiting here when you're done."
What if we have to go to the bathroom?
Hold it. So do you all enter her office?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys remember the ancient image I used for her office.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Does it still have the telescope thing?
Yes, it does. The
Nice.
stargazer.
Yeah. We haven't touched on that since.
No, we haven't.
Good.
He's like, exactly.
I'd like to.
Correct.
So when you guys enter into Commissioner Hale's office, you see Commissioner Hale at the far end of the room, and she looks to be writing out information at her desk, and you see the astral cat that she used before to guide you to your assignment, Anubis, sitting beside her. As she writes at different things, it swats at her quill, but passes through the quill as it does.
That's
And she keeps writing.
Cute.
When all of you enter, she looks up. Oh, what a nice surprise. Come on in. And she waits for all of you to approach as she finishes writing out something. To what do I owe the pleasure?
I would.
While we're on the far side of the room, sorry, I lean over to Kaya and be like, should we ask her about Galahad?
I would just step forward. I would say we felt the need to touch base with you given recent exciting Skytram events.
Skytrain.
Yes, I would certainly call those events exciting. I'm glad you're all okay, by the way. I told Amali to let you know that I was happy to hear that you survived, but that might have gotten lost in the confusion.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would imagine. There was definitely a lot going on. We were curious if you had any additional intel to suggest, like, why that attack was carried out, why Talon might have been hired, who might have hired Talon.
Talon, no offense to your skills or your growing reputation, was a mercenary group often hired for cheap assignments. They would take just about anything.
Got just knife to the heart. Just
Clearly, they signed up for more than they bit off more than they could chew. Anybody, I don't say anybody, but many people could have hired Talon. It's not that they were cheap, but a wealthy individual could afford something like Talon. Not that it would necessarily be easy to make contact. You would need a middleman.
So why would someone with means, potentially, then choose to hire the cheapest mercenary group they could? Would that ever make sense as something that could happen?
Well, we would have a really hard time pinpointing who hired them because so many people could have been the ones to hire them. They were not going to leave a paper trail, and
True.
Time doesn't exactly tell the rest of us anything. If we had a chronomancer, maybe, but Analir doesn't have any chronomancers.
We think we do know the middleman involved.
Oh, okay.
A Mr. Kite.
Oh, okay.
He I don't know if you heard, he kindly warned us about 10 seconds before the attack happened that he had been hired to orchestrate our deaths. He seemed very regretful about it. Found out later on that one of the explosives was unexploded, so he could have exploded both, but only did one, I guess.
Now, that is different. The Kite I know is a rather ruthless middleman who, usually when he's involved, the assignment goes off without a hitch, even with amateurs like Talon. So the fact that this Kite took the time to apparently warn you, and there was an untriggered explosive on the Skytram, given the fact that I'm sure while that Skytram was moving, had both of those explosions going off, we might not even be having this conversation.
Absolutely. So he is not known to do anything like that.
No, not from any reports I've heard. Kite is not one to compromise his reputation for that.
So would the fact that Kite was used help narrow down who hired him?
It would certainly come to a wealthier patron than what could typically afford Talon.
Insight
Kite's
check.
for.
Does she know who hired them?
Okay, go for it.
Never mind.
Inside check.
Never mind.
8. I I guess it's my turn. 15.
Hey.
Hey.
You get the sense that
Is she in on it?
you don't get that vibe, but you do get the sense that what you're looking for, and that if she knows it was Galahad, you get the feeling that she is considering multiple possibilities, and that it is not out of the realm of possibility that she's considering it might have been Chief Galahad. You get the feeling that she's considering it. But she continues, saying, Kite is a unique middleman. The way he gathers information as a cipher isn't known. Thus, the information that he gathers is always up in the air as to how he acquires it, and not just how he acquires it, but then who he has information on or what he has information on. So, yes, the client would have had to have been on the wealthier end, and Vatica doesn't have its short of wealthy individuals, but it does narrow the list.
Have you heard of how one typically contacts Mr. Kite?
I have heard hearsay as to how you're able to get a hold of Kite. Something about the old lift that leads to the Undercity.
That's what we've heard as well, so to hear it from someone else makes me think it might be true.
And I feel like we're dancing around something. Do you have a theory as to who exactly might have tried to get you killed?
We do have a theory. We're not very confident in it yet. No, only hearsay from one individual who doesn't really have a spine anyway. But trying to get another person or have evidence that would point in the same direction, or if it's a different direction, look into that too. But one spineless mercenary accusing one wealthy person, not enough to go on.
DM question. Does Commissioner Hale have hair?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
So
I'm pretty sure we have a picture of her. Yeah. It's got hair in it.
You could never be too careful.
Is it a wig?
Is she a vampire?
Or she's just suddenly bald. You never know.
You don't want to judge.
she slides a blank piece of paper across the desk and says, "Humor me."
I would.
Oh man, what can I roll for trust?
Yeah, I
Trust-
would
No,
slide
wait. There is. You gave us. What's it
the
called?
neurowave.
No.
Instincts?
Instincts. Yes. Thank you. You knew what I was looking for. Can I roll for instincts?
Yeah.
Can we
will
trust
too.
her? I wasn't iffy on if we could trust her.
For sure, definitely no reservations here. I roll a 4.
19.
Much better.
Before you roll instincts, I'll say that you could also roll insight. Since we've
Both
got
the same.
Hey,
15.
nice.
I would say,
Can we trust her?
given she is the person who initially hired you in the first place, you came on board immediately because of her word and because of all of her own efforts, while, yes, did benefit her, which you figured politically they did benefit her to hire you, refugees coming to Analir. I would say, all in all, you have not come across any reason to not trust Commissioner Hale. And on the whole, your instincts would tell you that, yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to trust her.
Okay, I would slide and grab the paper.
I look around. Is there like any eavesdroppers or anything?
None other than Anubis.
Well, you know.
What's on the piece of paper?
It's blank.
It's
I
blank.
assume
She
we're
was just
supposed
a
to
writing
just
it.
write the
What-
name
okay, I
on
thought
it.
she put
Yeah.
something on it.
No.
Do we? Or should we make it like incognito, like precinct 9, and just like leave it as that? Like someone in.
I take the piece of paper. and her quill.
What do you write?
I write G and slide it back.
She picks it up and looks at it. And she, like, looks toward his office.
And I think I would just.
Is there like? And they're on
Think
opposite
of-
sides of the building, but they're like windows.
Think like
Window.
Precinct 9 leads into the very top of it is two separate towers, with his tower being higher up. So his office is higher up. So her window out to the east side just sees like the side of his tower. So there's no window directly looking at you.
Is there a
guys right now.
skylight?
Yeah, no skylight.
I would just nod.
She scoots back in her chair and throws the piece of paper in her fireplace and then scoots back up.
Just a theory.
I think
Makes one think of trust.
I think it would be good for you to visit the Regent Fia.
Was that the one at the place we woke up at? It was
No.
called. I know what that place was called.
Hour 13.
Thank you.
That's Sirza.
Do we know where Fia is?
She would say Regent Fia works at Iron Infirmary 5. So someone hired you. Sorry, someone hired.
Me to kill myself? Obviously.
Where were you?
Easiest money I've ever made.
Where were you just before the Skytram?
We were.
We were outside of game. We were at the Knights.
Right, but I was gonna,
Inside of game.
I was just gonna give the general ward.
Okay, cool.
I wasn't gonna say skis or
I was gonna
knights.
say.
Like, what ward was
Blackchapel.
it? Blackchapel. We were We were doing some general investigation around Blackchapel. We ran into some red knights with less than innocent intentions.
Good guys.
Can you be a little more specific than just Blackchapel?
I have an interest in learning more about the Knight family specifically and their connection with the Undercity. So I was heard that that's where one of them is
Especially
headquartered.
given the incidents that have occurred there in the what's the villa called again?
Tantavilla.
In Tantavilla.
Does she know about that?
She does. We talked about it before.
Yeah. We just wanted to get to know. We wanted to scope out the area more. Try to get a feel.
And what did you learn?
We learned there's a bit of a division, I think, happening in the Knight family, which would
With the
explain
two heads of the family.
the ongoing cyclical, like, conflict and not, then conflict and not.
I just learned that the sister's pretty attractive.
So you
He has a
got
thing
to
for powerful women.
so you got to meet Lady Knight.
We had the unfortunate pleasure. She didn't really give us much of a choice.
Oh, tell me more.
There was a carriage that she pulled up in, and unfortunately, we had to go in and endure her company.
I don't like her.
It was wonderful.
Agree
Remember,
to
I'm
disagree.
the one that failed the role and
Yeah.
liked the chair.
I just remember the chairs being comfy, but I didn't like her attitude.
I think endure her company is a pleasant way to put it.
You can say that again.
I can't.
And what did she have to say to you? Why exactly did she feel the need to pull you four specifically off to the side?
She's only a little flirty.
She-
You've seen the beard, right?
She pulled you into her carriage to flirt with you.
That's the vibe I got.
What is wrong with you?
He's just like, big women.
I would say typical family stuff. She wanted us to kill her brother.
She wanted you to kill her brother.
Yeah. I don't like killing people that I don't know about, so.
Why did she come to you?
Beats me.
Garrison's laying a trap. We're saying too much.
But yeah, but if we stonewall, that's also obvious.
I know, but he's clever.
So if she wants you to kill her brother, she has a reason. The few times I have run into Hema, she
That's her
has been...
I forgot.
The few times I've run into Hema, she's never been stupid. She might be direct and a little infuriating, but she doesn't strike me as, well, she doesn't seem as smart as her opposite, but she does seem capable.
She didn't seem very direct to me. She was very manipulative, trying to control the narrative and get us onto her side of whatever this family conflict is. Like, I got the impression that she was not being honest.
I thought you got the vibe that she was being very honest.
No.
I thought he was the one that was lying. Am I beginning that backwards?
Yeah,
You got
that's
backwards.
very backwards.
That was a long time ago.
It was.
Whole week.
Whole week.
It was
like
a
2
whole
weeks, it's
in game 2
Yeah.
days ago.
And why would she feel the need to argue her side?
I have no idea.
She made
She wasn't really arguing, though. It's just an impression that I got that there's more to the story than she's letting on.
Okay.
Do you know what the feud might be about?
The Knight family's been around a long time. The Knight family goes all the way back to Old Vatica. From what I understand, the Knight family and its two heads, its patriarch and matriarch as they currently stand, don't see eye to eye. I don't know what about, but there's clearly some sort of feud between two sides of the family. I don't know what this feud is over, but in an old family, that feud could have originated with their parents or their parents' parents or their grandparents' grandparents. It's just a whole labyrinth of messy family drama. I'm not going to pretend I fully know why they're at each other's throats. I just find it very interesting that Hema would come to the four of you to ask that you hunt down and kill her brother. That's what I don't know how to make sense of. Someone with as much wealth and influence as Hema Knight would have many, many more options before she would turn to the four of you.
Or just do it herself. I mean, she had like a giant bodyguard with her.
Oh. That's, you saw her bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
They lovingly call that thing Kill Switch. And as much as possible, try to avoid that one. It might go without saying, given the relative size of Kill Switch, but he is someone that, if not for the Knight family's influence, I would have had locked up ages ago.
Noted. All right.
But all that aside, I will consider everything that has been, and she like gestures to the fireplace, said here. And should you feel the need to enlighten me with anything else, you can either come here or, of course, speak directly to Amali, who will communicate to me in her way.
Thank you very much. And I suppose we're off to meet Regent Fia.
Happy trails.
Thank you. We'll go see Ramsey again. His smiling face.
Ramsey is quite the character. Go on. I have a lot to do. And she would turn back to her work.
Off we go.
Get the heck out of there.
Would be inside her instincts.
For what?
Is she like? Does she know that like we're like?
Lying?
Yeah.
Blowing smoke up her ass.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Go
why I
ahead.
wasn't talking.
Go ahead and do an instincts check.
Oh.
Natural 20.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
She can definitely tell.
That's
you're
why
hiding
I accept. We
Okay.
get out of there, and I'm just like, you guys, you should have shut up.
She would have known we were hiding something either way.
That's why I was like trying to do like recovery mode. Like, we don't know.
And that's why I was joking the entire time. Garrison,
It's fine. It just slides back in. It's
you're
okay.
touching it too much.
I'm just trying to keep it up on my face. I'm a tall person. Okay. Ramsey meets you guys outside and would lead you back out the way you came. Do you guys attempt to do anything else, or
Quick
do
question: is it normal for there to be like a guard outside her door?
from what you can recall, do an investigation check. See what you can recall about the first night you were brought here.
10.
You would recall that last time, way back when, during Rain Reactor assignment, there was someone stationed outside her
Okay.
section.
So it's not like they're keeping an eye on her. It's not unusual. Okay.
But outside of that, is there anything else you wanted to do, or do you just want to kick
I'm
it?
good. Yeah. So we're headed back to our airship.
Arrowhead Eclipse.
Anyone else need anything on that? I'm also getting coffee.
I'm good.
Pepsi would be good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Thank you.
You guys are talking too much.
We're not talking enough.
Well, I mean, since you two are the ones still debating letting them destroy Precinct 9, so I'm just saying. Sarah.
Precinct 9 is just a building.
No, I'm
Technically.
pretty sure Skazer Knight was very direct.
He
saying,
did not say that.
Yes, he did.
He said
Garrus,
Precinct
DM,
9, which is a
DM.
building.
DM, we did specify he wants to kill the people, right?
He did say.
There's no way around it.
He did say that they would. That his plan included killing Commissioner Hale.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we specified.
Okay, that ruins my train of thought.
Yeah, I know.
Dang, wow.
You were like, how can we trick this guy?
Right, because I'm like, okay, he can just destroy the building. It's just a building.
You know, I'm pretty sure Garrison explicitly said he wants to kill the people.
Dang, Flabbit.
Because I knew he would. He probably knew we would try to weasel our way out of it.
Now he's doing this whole vampire thing.
I know. At least half of them are probably vampires.
Yeah. We at least gotta get Commissioner Hale out.
But then that won't count. then Skazer will kill us. He said we cannot interfere.
I mean, we already have a bounty on our heads. What's someone else trying to kill us?
That's the spirit. That's what I'm saying.
It's the whole train conundrum.
The trolley problem?
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
the train conundrum.
I'm sorry, my brain is fried. You got what I was
The
putting
trolley problem.
Yeah, you got what I was putting down. It was close enough.
And the trolley problem is if there's a trolley heading towards 5 people it's going to kill, and if you do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you pull the lever to move the trolley, it'll only kill one person.
Yep. So both outcomes are equally bad. But like I said,
Well,
I'm trying to find...
That's the moral philosophy.
Right,
Are they
there's-
equally bad?
Well, here's the thing. I was trying to find, that third option. There's technically a third answer to that. You let it go towards, so you know how it splits and there's like a lever that you have to pull? You let it go towards one side first, and then when it's halfway at that split, you pull the lever so it goes in off onto the other track, but then it gets stuck and doesn't hit anybody.
Did you ever watch The Good Place?
What?
Did you ever watch The Good Place? The TV show? All right, well, we're going to add it to our list.
Okay.
We have a very long list of shows we were watching. We're going to add it to it. And I'm going to spoil a little bit for you and anyone listening. The way they answered the trolley problem was very sweet.
Okay.
Was that there is a third option. Either do nothing or kill one person. Or you get off the track and move that person so you get hit by the trolley. So you sacrifice yourself. No, that was very sweet.
Yeah. So like I said, and you were saying no, there isn't.
Yeah, so
There's
you're
got
gonna
to be a
sacrifice yourself.
third option.
Yeah, we kill Skazer Knight. And his sister. Kill them both. And their kids.
No.
Well, if there's a curse going on, we need to save Vatica.
But it's just with their family, though.
Yeah, so we kill all of them.
No, it's terrible.
It would work.
I mean, yeah, but it's terrible.
Probably. I mean, there's ceramic, right?
Thank you.
All right. Try it. Yeah.
Start a fire.
I mean, it'll just crack, right?
Probably. Let me turn this off so I can open this.
Garrison's heard it. I'm very excited to see if it sounds better. Because it seems like the levels are all pretty even in the yellow. If Garrison would just stop touching his mic, it'd be great, but...
What do you mean?
What do you I was saying I'm very excited to hear what it sounds like. The last one, I was way too loud.
Okay.
Like, just higher level than everyone else. That's why I was making sure, like, we're all pretty much in the yellow.
Okay.
Like, in my normal speaking voice.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, several levels higher, louder than everybody else. She's too quiet.
Gotcha.
So I turned her up a bit. Yeah, I
No,
know
I
you
mean-
are. You are.
Oh, no.
I hate the sound of my laugh, too, because mine
Oh,
was
see, I-
loud.
well,
no,
yeah.
I like... But it was too loud, because I'm like, ha! Very loud.
I was saying
I know,
that.
but it was peaking.
I love hearing everybody laugh.
So if you go and listen to it, though, you set the volume so that you can hear your voice.
Yeah.
It sounds great. And then all of a sudden it's like, hello, my name's Levi. It's just like peaking.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? It's just like, it doesn't sound right. So I'm very excited to see if it sounds better.
I'm sure it will. I mean, that's just the growing pains of doing this
It's
stuff.
pretty funny. In that 9-hour video,
Yeah.
it clearly copyrighted every single song you've used.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like each 2-minute song from the hour videos you play, it is clearly copyrighted them.
That's funny.
So which I mean, it's not gonna hurt anything. It's just you can't make money off of it.
Oh, yeah, no.
Which I mean, we're not going to anyway. So
Right, exactly. I was like, I mean, as far as I know for all of these, I try to use ones that I think are, like, usable, but I've never checked to see if they're
It
copyrighted.
is very funny though. Just
Yeah.
scrolling through like oh, like
Yeah.
every single minute of this is copyrighted. Okay, great. I know that coffee got a little cold. I said I know the coffee got a little cold. Let it sit too long.
Okay. Then it'll be up to you guys to figure out where/what you wish to do next.
Well, I think we should go back to the skyship and catch each other up on what we found.
Yes.
I agree.
Alrighty then.
And then we'll decide where to go.
Sounds good. So we travel back to the sky stack, take the lift up to the Arrowhead Eclipse, and climb on in so that you guys can recap each other on everything you learned.
Did she refuel the tank while
Yes.
we're going?
Well, sorry, she refueled the tank before you guys left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a full tank right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So did we meet back up with Zane?
Yes. Zane would be there with you guys, and he would have climbed into the Eclipse with you, sitting there in the hull to recount everything, as well as what he witnessed while you two were in Rolana.
Yes. So I would look at Kyan, Niall, and Zane and be like, all right, we went to Rolana. I was Dune again. And we went, then where Precinct 9 is standing in Rolana, there's a giant castle.
Very gothic.
Okay.
Huge.
Is Gothic a word in this one? No.
Yeah.
There's such a thing as Gothic
kidding.
architecture.
Victorian.
We are in the Victorian era.
Oh my goodness.
Do we know it's the Victorian era?
It was a modern castle.
That is funny. That is very funny.
It took me a minute. I get it now and had to suppress a laugh. It literally took that long for me to buffer through it, and I went, oh.
It's just a castle.
Keep the coffee going.
Yeah, Gothic
Right?
architecture. You mean architecture?
Yeah.
That's
All
funny.
right,
But
coffee.
there was a vampire,
They're
right?
it was full of vampires.
Question.
Vampires.
Any chance that the teeth might have crossed over with me? It's
That's
a
good
stretch, but
question.
No.
okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
that's not how that works.
You never-
Except you can send packages through water. Guess what? There were more shamblers there. Remember those monsters from last time?
Yeah.
They were terrifying. They were
I mean, I agree.
Do you? Niall said that you know what's inside of the room. You go around the pillars to the left in Precinct 9.
Yeah.
In Rolana, you can tell me what it looks like in that room. In Rolana, there were giant floating pools of water, and the shamblers were in the ceiling,
What did the water look like?
wet.
Did it look like when light reflects off of water and then that get like the light that reflects off
Yeah,
the
but
water
it was
looks
only
weird?
inside of the water. It wasn't on the walls or anything.
Okay. That's what so when I put my head through the door, there were tanks filled with water that looked like that
Really?
with agents in them.
They
like,
were inside of them.
in the tanks of water with like breathing apparatus on. And one of them there were all of a sudden there was like an emergency situation and they had to drain the water out, and one of the people who was taking the readings, and that's like a whole other thing, was going in and had to like resuscitate him, and he coughed up like this sludgy black watery stuff, and as he came to, he was like, oh, did you see it? And so the guy who had like resuscitated him stuck his hand in like the water sludge stuff and like was like digging around for something. It was like this world's
hand that we
version
saw.
of like a Mary Poppins, whatever that would be, bag. and then he like
Bag of holding.
yes, it was like he was reaching in a bag of holding.
A cartridge of holding? No.
Yeah.
A cartridge of holding.
A deck of infinities.
Homebrew D&D, still D&D.
He pulled out a package like the one that was in, not exactly like
But the
the one
Shamblers
that
had?
was in Rolana, but he pulled out like a package
All right.
from the sludge.
This is crazy. There were... So, listen. Dune is a much braver man than I am. He stuck his face right up into the shamblers. And I mean, I can still feel some sort of version of saliva on my cheek. I'm going to throw up again. But
That did it, but not drinking the weird wine thing and throwing up the worm.
Dune threw up that time. Now that you mention it, might still throw up. But there were 3 instances where a hand reached out the first time. Correct me if I'm wrong, DM. The hand reached out the first time, and they all crawled around it. And I couldn't see exactly, but they might have given it a package.
Okay.
From what you saw. The second time, a hand reached out, and they pulled it through, and they... How can I say this politely? Tore the guy apart and wore his skin as a suit.
I didn't see that happen on our end.
I did. And I will never unsee it.
Well, then someone must be accessing it from a different point as well. Anyway, you
How
said 3.
How long did you have your head through the wall?
Oh, only 10 seconds.
Maybe it happened after that.
It might have.
And then the third time, a hand reached through that had a cut on it, and the blood was the same color as the vampire we killed. A dirty gold.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And that means that there's a vampire on this side.
Oh, man, that's disturbing.
And
But
then
if there's one
given
vampire...
the things that we saw in the greenhouse there, maybe a connection. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to study the sap that we collected.
And if there's one vampire, there might be more.
Yeah.
Well, how many... So was that the only thing that was in the
No.
Rolana version of
Unfortunately, no.
Precinct 9?
Well,
So you
there
know where
were
the-
more vampires, that's for sure.
A ton of vampires. And you know where the pistons were at?
Yeah, of the old forge?
Mm-hmm. There were coffins in the exact same place, and there were tubes leading into the coffins with this gold substance. I don't know if it was going in or going out, but little to find out. On our way out, there was vampires standing all along them, just staring down at us.
I don't suppose it's too much to hope that the coffins were empty.
I did not check because they were welded shut, so I left them welded shut.
Could you see anything on the pistons in Honolier?
Yeah, I didn't take that close of a look at the pistons.
I did. There were golden images. Correct me, DM, if I'm wrong.
Rust.
Rusty silhouettes.
Thank you. With images that were familiar, but I cannot place.
They were probably the creatures in the caskets, right?
Possibly. I don't know.
So I think that Precinct 9, because I can't quite put everything together, but Precinct 9 used to be a forge. And I found over in those 3 pillars in the center area before we went up the stairs, there was an image there actually that I need your help with, Durin. And probably Alentia as well. So there was an engraving on the floor, and it looked like an inverted hammer that's shaped like a mountain. It was the symbol of Herodon. So fire and
The god
forge
of
design.
forge.
Yes, that one. Thank
yeah,
you.
Most dwarves worship him.
And Niall pointed out that it looks like someone like put a scratch like through the hammer, like defaced it in some kind of way. And then something is written off to the side in relation to the person who like scratched out the hammer. I don't know what it says because it's in Lithian, I believe, but I wrote it down. And then I would show it to you
Let
guys.
me see it.
Do you speak Lithian?
I do. What does it say?
On this ground, I will forge an empire.
And that's a part of the defacing.
Not of fire and steel, but of blood and fang.
Okay, so that's pretty much
Yeah.
obviously a vampire.
I can't think what else it would be.
But it's interesting that it uses the words forge.
Was there any indication that this defacing was relatively new, or has this been around for a while? Do we know?
I don't recall.
Niall would pause for a moment and say, when I looked at it, the scratch was deep, but it had bits of it were worn away, like it'd been there at least for a while. Like it clearly wasn't scratched, in the past few weeks. It's something that's been there for a minute.
Okay.
And I couldn't quite place the sounds, but we did kind of go into the area where the pistons were, and there was like some like clanging sounds. I think
Was it rhythmic?
I didn't get a good like distinctive hearing to it, but based on like what you guys said with what you saw in Onalear and what's happening here, I think the forge is still being used, but not in the same way that it was. But they said like he's going to forge an empire. I think they're using the forge somehow to grow or create these vampires, it sounds
Well,
like.
if they're able to send objects and information back and forth through Rolana and Onalear, the castle, the vampire at the gate referred to it as, this is the home of the night.
I don't suppose he specified if it was a knight with an N or a K, did he?
I tried, but he wouldn't tell me.
Dang it. Okay. But
I mean, if there's an Alucari here creating more vampires to serve him in Rolana and Onalear, that's really bad.
We're screwed.
well, and this ties it to my ultimate thought. What if Precinct 9 wants to be attacked on the 31st? What if the thing that they're growing will be ready? And then when they're attacked, that's when it'll be unleashed. But then they can hide it under the guise of, whatever the attack is. But what if it's planned? But I'm not convinced that Commissioner Hale. I feel like if Commissioner Hale knew about any of this, she would not be okay with it. I think this goes back to Galahad.
I know we haven't met him yet, but is it possible he is the Alucari?
Maybe.
The master vampire?
Yeah. I don't know how long he's been around.
We'd have to ask around.
Sounds like we need to go talk to Regent Fia.
Mm-hmm.
But do you guys think I'm wrong? Am I crazy for thinking that maybe it's planned?
At this point,
Why
it's not too far-fetched that
Why would
see it.
Skazer Knight want to help vampires? He has his own curse he has to deal with.
I don't think he knows.
Remember, Vox proposed that idea to him.
Speaking of Vox, Zane, can you describe what happened to us?
What?
So when they traveled to Rolana, they sprouted horns. Each of them, identical horns to Vox. Their eyes rolled back into nebulas, and their bodies were puppeted, for lack of a better phrasing. And I had to sort of herd them as they were piloted around, until eventually when they did return, their horns faded before their consciousness arrived and the nebulas vanished.
You're telling me
That means that happened to
we
you too.
that we walked from the garden with horns and nebula eyes all the way to hour 13?
Yes.
Oh my stars. This is the worst day of my life.
Well, so far.
I am stealthy. There was no way I was stealthy during that.
Of course not.
Who saw that?
If it makes you feel any better, there are viling, like normal people.
With
now
horns?
Nebulas for eyes, Zane?
I don't know how often you look at strangers' eyes when you pass them, but
I guess.
I
Okay. I admit
Maybe we
this
just looked like we
is
were high.
Best case scenario, sorry.
Best case scenario.
Continue. So we...
that's all I have. They moved around with no will of their own, seemingly, until eventually when they came to, and I heard what little I did before they stormed off into Precinct 9, but they were throwing themselves against the doors of Precinct 9 as if whatever was controlling them was trying to get inside, which, come to find out, they did in
We did
Rolana
go
go
inside.
inside
And
Precinct
we had
9.
to fight to get inside.
But that
Lana.
means that means our bodies do not need to be 1-to-1 in the same location in Rolana and Onalear.
So
So
we
I-
could effectively tie ourselves down next time.
That's I think
Correct.
next time we should tie ourselves down inside of the airship and have Zane
That's
watch
an
over us.
idea.
Speaking of airship, where is Anaya? Throughout all of this conversation.
That's such a great question. Enlighten us, DM. How's Anaya? Where is she? Have we even noticed her? Has she just been like right here?
He's sitting in the pilot seat like,
No. We would have made her go somewhere.
No,
I forgot.
too late.
No.
Too late.
I forgot.
Too late. I would just look at Anaya. Like, as we all realize this, I would turn to Anaya. Does she look at me?
she just,
You say a word of this to anyone, I will find you.
Hey. Anaya.
No one.
Hey.
No one hears about this. Do we understand each other? Wonderful.
Hey. Anaya. Just remember who your friends are.
Just because he says it with nicer words doesn't mean he doesn't mean the same thing.
Remember who gave you a star driver. Remember who pays you.
It's
And remember who
still
gave you a
threat.
home on this fancy airship.
Oh my god, it's still threatening. He's still making threats just like me.
But I'm doing it in a much nicer tone.
It doesn't make it less threatening.
Look at how happy she is now.
That's called manipulation.
Yeah.
I'm just more direct about it. I don't bribe people. It's a lot cheaper that way.
We literally pay her a salary.
Because she does things for us.
And
It's
one of
called
those
a-
things is keeping her mouth shut.
Well, now it is.
almost.
Good.
Who would I say anything to? I live here.
Let's keep it that way.
That's right.
No friends for her, except us.
Wow. I mean, she didn't have any friends to
Dang.
begin with anyway, so. She did just get fired. So.
If you ever earn my
Wow,
trust,
we are
that will
literally
change.
manipulating
But for
her.
now,
We're isolating her. We're threatening her.
Basically kidnapping her for
Gaslighting
saying
her.
she can't go off of the
She
airship.
lives here.
But you just said that she can't leave.
No, Kaya said that. I didn't say anything like that.
you did a little bit actually.
Alentia's
In a
just like
nicer
so
tone.
internally conflicted.
And Niall's just like,
Now I was like,
yeah.
I love how in that moment
I'd be like,
you're usually the one that's more like direct in things, like to the point, and like Niall usually takes after you. But as soon as I'm like, listen here, you
Yeah.
tell anyone and you die, Niall's like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
as soon as he
Take
What
that.
Kaya said.
as soon as he does that, I would be like, no. I mean, don't say a word. But come on, guys, really?
Yeah, you guys, come on.
Shush.
Anyway,
Zane would turn to Anaya for a moment and say, it was an accident for us to burden you with this information. You will be safer.
he's also threatening her in a nice way.
You will be safer in your day-to-day living if you never utter a thing you hear in this hall. That is not a threat. That is just... If you repeat the things you hear here, you will create enemies for yourself.
So is that a performance, persuasion, or intimidation there, Garrison?
I feel like you should get advantage. It was a better argument.
Well, it was a natural 20 on
Hey!
so
I would look at Dern and be like, "Is that what you were trying to do?"
He said the same things I did. In the
Not
same
really.
tone.
Not exactly.
Anaya would just like sit in the chair holding her star driver, just like,
I love how no matter what, like all of this was so awful, and she's like, "I'm still excited."
Just
Still a
so
job.
giddy.
Yeah. Anyway.
When you hit rock bottom, there's only one way you can go is up.
Yeah.
the sky's the limit.
In a sky ship.
However, Anaya, fun fact though, you'll find in your particular situation, people may continue to forget your presence and say things in front of you. Keep your ears open, always.
Oh.
Not for me or for anyone else. And if I want information from you, I will offer to pay you additionally for it, should you hear anything. But it will behoove you to take advantage of the fact that people might not be aware that you're around. Keep your ears open.
I can make interest.
Why is that such a backhanded compliment? Like, people don't notice you. Use that to your advantage.
It's what I strive not. I also strive not to be noticed. Doesn't work when I trip over tree roots and I headbutt a tree. But I try.
I can listen.
Beautiful.
I'm a good listener. I'm a real good listener.
Okay, Anaya.
We all have room to grow.
Your next job.
Yes.
Find us what's the airship docking thing called?
Sky Stack.
Find us a sky stack close to Iron Infirmary 5.
Can do. She spins around in the chair and locks
Accidentally
it in.
goes too far. Spins twice.
She slaps the key in there, and then you just hear, and then you guys shoot off out of the sky stack. She swerves around an arrowhead as it passes by as she flies you toward Iron Infirmary 5. And let me look and see about how far that would be from here.
What's the acceleration when that occurs? Very fast.
It's pretty fast. It's pretty fast. I would say,
Okay.
fast enough to throw the unprepared on their back.
I did a backflip with it.
I told her to go, so I'm assuming I was braced.
I got a 19, so I probably just like.
Meets. I got a
Take a
19
step
plus
back, yeah.
4 if it was handling. So
Nice.
There you go. Everyone seems to have done well. How did Zane do? He's fine. He just sat in his chair. He just didn't move.
nice.
Niall rolled backward.
Hey.
Everyone else was ready, and then Niall just like. So from Precinct 9 to Iron Infirmary 5, it's about another 20 or so miles.
Okay. Well, we didn't even use the whole sud.
Good.
20, 40 miles?
At least it was about 20 miles.
From the Mar Hotel, it would have also been 20. You filled up before you left.
No, we fill up at the docking station, I thought. You said docking stations double as...
Oh,
Refill
so you wanted to
stations.
fill up, you wanted to fill up after you left the Mar Hotel?
Yeah.
She filled up at the Mar Hotel and you wanted to fill up again? Like you wanted to fill the...
We didn't tell her to fill up at the Mar Hotel, we told her to fill up at the docking station.
Oh, okay, I
From
misunderstood.
my recollection.
No, you're fine. If that's what you guys want to do, that's fine.
That's what I spent my money on, I'm just saying.
That's fine. Then that's fine. We'll go with that. I'll say it doesn't bother me.
So we're down one sud.
How many suds left?
11.
Ah, doing great.
I
think.
We're fine either way, so.
Says the not. I'm over here like, yeah, we're doing fine. Says not the engineer at all.
We're doing fine. Question about Precinct 9, Garrison.
Yes.
Are there, if we go back to Station 12, or the library, or anywhere else, would we be able to find, like, old blueprints for the building?
I would probably exist because there's probably like building codes and stuff like that.
I mean, you would hope, but it's a steampunk. I want to know if there's a bottom to this building.
There for sure is. That's where the forge is.
I know, that's what, no, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could. Where do you want to look for blueprints? Is there a particular place you were considering?
I mean, we go back to the hotel.
Okay. But yeah, no, you could absolutely look for information like that.
I believe in you, Durin. You got this.
We'll do it later.
I'm real slow at reading and researching, so I believe in you.
We know.
So,
For the Iron Infirmary 5, we're going to speak to Regent Fia. Do we want to go to Rolana again? To see what's on the other side at Iron Infirmary 5? Or do we just want to go in and talk to her?
Is there like, I don't know. I don't care. What do you think? I didn't even think about doing that, to be honest.
Oh, really?
It did not occur to me.
Well, I like going to Rilana, but
Do you want to go again?
yeah.
Try tying you down this time.
There you go.
No one wants to come with me?
Well,
Someone needs to go help
No,
him
no,
control
no.
Dune.
Dune and I can have our alone time.
You mean Dune can have his own alone time and get into who knows what?
We're together.
Mind you, you are probably at the point in the day where if you probably need to pick one. You probably either need to check the Rilana state of Iron Infirmary 5 or check the Analeer state of Iron Infirmary 5, because you guys are far enough into the day that, I mean, you could go by yourself, I suppose, and then they could go into the regular Iron Infirmary 5, so you could do both, I guess, if you want to go by yourself.
I feel like we should pick one.
Let's go to the regular one.
Okay.
So here,
In the middle of the mission, I peace out and go to Rilana and just grow a horn and space out.
Just make sure you warn us so we can tie you down.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Infirmary 5.
I mean, the middle of the mission. So, like, you have to get me out, too.
Oh, yeah.
Iron Infirmary 5 is there
Ooh.
in the ward Greencastle. And I wish I had the exact description because it's in World Anvil for Greencastle. But
Someday.
you gotta give me time. It takes so long. So in Greencastle, as you guys fly in on the Arrowhead, you are taken into a stomach of greenery and steel. As you can see, there are plants and vines and flowers spilling over the bridges and all of the subterranean metalwork that makes up Greencastle. Everywhere you look, you see both nature and steel in Greencastle. Sunlight pours in through both the natural formations and the metalwork, and you watch as the plants themselves practically come to life and lean toward the sunlight almost instantly every time the beams push through the steam. Everything about Greencastle is alive. You watch as there are cats and other animals hunting and playing, birds chirping. The only place that you've traveled in Vatica where life seems to be blooming, even at this altitude.
I say, how high up are we? Are we close to the bottom or the top?
Greencastle falls somewhere in the middle when it comes to each of the wards of Vatica. The very highest is Blackchapel. A very close second is the Bell Heights, and then you have Zenbrick is kind of in the middle. Greencastle is kind of in the middle, and then Pharaoh Maze and the Undercity are all the way at the bottom. And as you fly in, a sky stack can be found. The sky stack itself is partially hidden by vines that fall down like a curtain. So the arrowhead has to push through the vines to find a slot in the sky stack. And you guys watch as the dew and water travel across the outside of Eclipse before Anya docks you guys here in Greencastle. Now that you are here, outside of every sky stack, there is a map that leads you to all major points of interest.
You are here.
Pretty much. Just a nice black and white board
Yeah.
of all the different locations. They also have photographs implanted in them so that you can find them by sight alone even.
Is there anything of note on the board?
Well, of course, Iron Infirmary 5, where you plan to go. You see a couple different locations. Do a history check.
What happened yesterday?
Ah.
I don't
23.
know. I got
it's
a 2.
It's okay, Kaya.
I got a 2. I don't even know what happened in my past. Now it's bleeding everywhere else.
Join the club.
Exactly.
Jesus.
So,
It's true, though.
I can remember my past. I just don't want to.
besides Iron Infirmary 5, there are the Sunset Chambers here in Greencastle, where they use a particular set of magical plants that basically draw in sunlight magically and channel it down into the bowels of Greencastle and turn that into its own kind of solar ether dew to power up through the rest of the ward.
That's awesome.
Is it
That's
similar
cool.
to the rain reactors?
It is actually very different from the rain reactors, where the rain reactors just collect rain as it is and just derive the ether straight from the rain. The sunset chambers use basically the dew that forms in the mornings and the evenings and stuff like that before, and then it also takes that sunlight and channels it down through to use that concentrated heat, and it vaporizes all of that water and ether and soaks it all up before spewing it back up through the pipes.
And is this
It's-
close to Iron Infirmary 5?
The sunset chambers dot the whole ward.
Does someone plant these? And like, I just find it weird that it's only this area of the city, because it just seems so useful. Like, why only this area?
So the entirety of Greencastle, as part of the history check, you would recall that Greencastle is the agricultural ward of Vatica. So the bulk of all the food and all of the plants, whether it's flora and fauna, what have you, all of it is concentrated here in Greencastle. Not necessarily because it isn't useful to the other wards, but because the amount of time and effort it takes to upkeep the sunset chambers it takes basically most of the jobs in Greencastle revolve around the upkeep of the sunset chambers and the agriculture that spawns from them. So the whole ward kind of has to be dedicated to it for it to be there.
Okay.
In addition to that, there is a Church of Maya in Greencastle.
Hey,
That's cool.
I was going to say I'm checking that out.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And the
What
Church
does that
of
look
Maya,
like in Relana?
What was that? Sorry.
the Church of Maya is set in one of the few remaining natural formations of Vatica that is become a fusion of basically a stone karst, which is basically just a super long, tall pillar of stone with steel winding around it, and the church sitting at the very top.
Okay. Oh, that's so cool. How far away is that from? Sorry, I'm blanking.
The Sky Stack?
Yes.
Or the Iron Infirmary 5?
Iron Infirmary.
The church itself is pretty far away from Iron Infirmary 5, but from what you can see on the points of interest, the Church of Maya has its own docking station.
Okay.
You can't refuel there, but it does have a place you can park the Arrowhead.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm sorry, I realize these are a little hard to see. I will stop using the ones that are so dark.
It's all good. Not your fault.
But whenever you do get to Iron Infirmary 5, we'll start here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. The Sunset Chambers, Church of Maya, Iron Infirmary 5. Is there anything else? No, everything else ends up falling under the umbrella of agriculture.
Okay.
Oh, no,
Where-
that's incorrect. There's also a zoo.
A zoo.
Yeah.
Where are we at time-wise in the point of the day?
You guys are probably hitting like 5, 6 p.m., somewhere in there. It's getting
Okay.
later.
And how far is the church from the Mar Hotel?
The church from the Mar Hotel would be, let's see. From the Mar Hotel, it's about 20 miles.
Okay.
It's half a sud.
3/4
It is
of
half
a
a
sud.
3/4 of a sud.
Or 1/3.
What'd you say?
2/3. I'm an idiot. A sud is 30 miles. So it's late. I'm glad that was recorded. We got plenty of gas. Don't worry.
We got a lot of suds.
Well, I was just wondering because it's like getting late, like time-wise.
Both
Yeah.
in
Let's
road, both in Audilair and in real life.
I was wondering, I'm like, oh, maybe I can walk back, but
I
we'll
have
figure it out.
Yeah.
plenty of health and shell, so
I'll say, you guys have
we're going all night.
I did, and then I headbutted a tree.
But yes, it's about 20 miles off. I'd say I'm going to lean higher. It's around 6 p.m. at this point when you guys are arriving here. Who do you want to take with you this time, Zane or Niall? It's up to you guys.
I think we should maybe bring Zane, if only because he's a little bit more like persuasive and charming.
Charismatic, yeah.
Yeah. He also didn't get to
Hope we're not saying
really
this in front of
do.
Niall.
He
We'll take
has a
Zane.
high charisma score. It's not Niall's fault. Also,
Right.
Niall already got to go out and have fun.
Yeah.
Zane had to watch you guys throw yourselves against a door for a while.
And he was good at it.
Did a great job.
He was good at it.
This is a good stopping point too.
Yeah, we can call it there if we want, because you guys would basically, Niall would wave to you guys while you head out, and Niall would see him waving, and she would press her face against the glass and wave.
I would go.
And you guys would head out toward Iron Infirmary 5, which is where we'll start here. And I'll probably end up saying this again next time, but Iron Infirmary 5 stands as basically a pale silo set against all of the greenery inside of the ward. But you can see plants, vines, flowers all interweaving with the silo-shaped hospital. And you can see the multiple spiral floors that go up it. And it sits sort of at the center of Greencastle. And you can see as like large pipes lead downward, almost like a mass of brass entrails leading deep into Greencastle.
Great.
Join us next time on Millennia.
And all our copyrighted music.
Next week's music will be provided by us. Should be fun. We all need to bring kazoos and harmonicas to the next session.
Mm-hmm.